We'll start here in the front row on the right, and then we'll work it around. So we'll start front row.
So, Coach, you had 10 players to start the game, and then Caroline goes down. Just kind of seems the way the season's been going. Do you know how she is and what that means for going forward?
I've never seen a kid have the circumstances happen to her that she's been under. It's just you almost want to laugh about it, even though it's not funny, that it just continues to happen. And I don't know what came out of it. You know, I think we'll know more later today, tonight, tomorrow morning. But, you know, Carol said she wants to play tomorrow. And, you know, right now we're going under the assumption that she will, unless we find something, you know, to the contrary tonight or tomorrow morning. She's a magnet, man. She's got a head. Her head is a magnet for elbows, especially Aaliyah's.
Anything else for Coach? I think we had a question on the left, and then we'll work it back around. Do you have a question there? I saw your hand up.
Geno, this was your, guys' first double-digit win since January. You dominated from start to finish. Azzi was back. Just kind of how re-energizing, was it for you guys to start with postseason like this?
The first game of the tournament, is usually just kind of get your feet wet, get acclimated to postseason play. It's the first game that you play all year long where it's one and done. And you usually get 5, 6, 7 days off, whatever the case may be, and you're working new people in. So it's never smooth. It's never, flawless when you play that first game. Very rarely is it. And I thought there was a 20-minute stretch there, if you add it all up, where I thought we just played great at both ends of the floor. We did what we wanted to do defensively. We got the ball out in transition the way we wanted to. We found the right people. We made the right decisions. And it helps when, you have people that they have to guard and the ball's going to go in more times than not. So the final score really wasn't really important. You just want to get your feet, get your wind, and get your legs back, and get ready for tomorrow. That's basically it. And try to get some bodies out there and get some rest when you can. And so I feel like we accomplished most of that.
Tim, right here in the front.
Geno, first half, Georgetown was just 12 points, 5 of 36 from the floor. How impressed were you by that first half defense? How important was it to set that kind of a tone for that first 20 minutes?
Everything starts there. It always has. And anytime our defense is as good as it was, it's followed very quickly by really, really good stuff offensively. And when your defense isn't what it was in the beginning of the game or throughout most of the game, it affects what happens on the offensive end too. So, again, I think the players realize this is postseason play. Every possession, matters. And we did a tremendous job of executing the game plan. We didn't make very many mistakes defensively, and the last month there's been a lot of mistakes at the worst times. But today there weren't any that mattered. And if we can do that again tomorrow, play the same kind of defense against either one of these teams, they both score a lot of points, both of these teams. I think it'll give us a chance to do offensively similar things to what we did tonight. Not that we were great on offense either, but we were better.
We'll go here front row on the left, and then we'll swing back on the right front row.
Geno, you said yesterday it isn't fair for anybody to expect Azzi to do what Paige did last year, lead you guys to, a championship game. But when you see her go out there and she says she's feeling good and she makes a couple threes, I mean, do you feel like, that kid could still make a pretty impressive impact for us?
I don't know that anybody on our team can have the similar impact that she can. So you're adding someone that she's going to play good defense. She had 4 assists today, and she's going to make shots. So the impact that she's going to have on the team is, you can't calculate the meaning of that because it's just everything. And as Aaliyah said, the confidence that the rest of the team gets, knowing that she's out there, when you're talking about a player that good at that many things, you benefit from it because she's so skilled, and the other team knows it, so they have to change their defensive approach. And so I always said that if we didn't get Azzi back and Caroline, if we didn't get the two of them, that it was going to be a short postseason probably for us. What that means, I don't know, but I think having Azzi and hopefully having Caroline, I think gives us our best chance to go far, and not just this tournament, but the next one.
Over here down the line in the front row.
Geno, I know Azzi's impact is immediate. How much will that impact be kind of fine-tuned moving forward? Does it take a little while for a player and a team to get used to one another again?
It does with most players. I said in the locker room, it didn't go over too well. I said in the locker room that, the first game is just kind of like find your way. I said, you all remember last year, when Paige was trying to come back and she was coming off the bench in the Big East tournament, and I said, and she ruined everything for everybody, and we were rolling, and then she came in and screwed it all up, and naturally she had to tell me that we won that first game by 40 or something like that, and she didn't look like herself one bit. So I didn't expect Azzi to come in and have a huge impact. I expected exactly what we just got, How will that change going forward? It's only going to get better because all her talents and all her skills, they fit perfectly with what we do. And we haven't changed what we do, even though she wasn't in the game for the last however many months. So she just steps into something that's very familiar, very comfortable, and doesn't have to relearn anything at all. And as long as Nika still knows where she is on the floor, we'll be good to go.
Second row on the left.
Hey, Coach. Just wondering about Aaliyah. She was honored with Most Improved Player. Can you talk about some of the specific ways she's improved this season and how that's impacted your team?
She's been more consistent. The things that we wanted Aaliyah to get better at. I think her conditioning has been way better. Her ability to sustain a certain level throughout the entire game has gotten better. Her approach to the game, I think, has improved. And that's not even talking about, she's shooting the ball better, she's finishing around the basket, she makes her free throws. I would think that most players, make those incremental improvements as they go along, and these were the things that Aaliyah needed to improve on, and she has. And she needs to keep doing this, not just for this month, this weekend, this month, but throughout this summer and going into her senior year, where she needs to take, there's even another step or two for her, which, will make her one of the best players in the country.
We got time for one more here, third row on the left.
Aubrey continues to play with such aggression. Was there a time when she was getting her back surgery where you were kind of curious of what she would look like as a player afterward?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're dealing with someone's back, there's always fear. Number one, will she ever be back and be able to do the things, and how much will she have lost? And I think that's been put to rest. She was able to come back, and you saw flashes and examples of what she used to be before the surgery. The one thing that may be different that, is that there's too many lulls during the game, so, and even game to game. So during the course of the game, she'll be like on this trajectory, and then she'll disappear for a while. And then the next game, she'll just explode the whole 40 minutes. And then the next game, it's a struggle. So how much of that is, related to that, and how much of it is you just haven't played basketball in a long time? But, you take her season as a whole, and I think she's had a great year considering. If anybody's ever had back problems, I mean, it's just not the easiest thing to come back from. And again, she's another one that if we can get her to be more consistent game to game, within the game, and keep her confidence level up, we have to have her. So we don't have a lot of those Aubrey types. So